So we'll start kind of from the beginning with your hockey journey. When did you start playing hockey?
I started playing hockey when I was 10, so I was in 5th grade.
And what did you want to accomplish with hockey? Did you get good pretty quickly?
So I played like a lot of sports because anything that my siblings started, I needed to be better at them. So my brother actually introduced me to hockey, and from there I just loved the game.
So I know that it was your aspiration to be part of Team Illinois, and that's something that actually happened for you. So what was that experience like playing super high level hockey?
That was always my goal when I started hockey, was to play AAA. Everyone kind of wanted to play AAA. It was like a regular thing. Um, Before TI, so Team Illinois, I played at Chicago Fury. So that was my first AAA program. And then from there, I moved up to Team Illinois.
So I'm assuming for you, hockey was always a joyous experience until it wasn't. So tell us what happened. You got into high school, you started struggling with your mental health, and what form did that take for you?
So around October of 2019, I started to get really sad. Just like it got really hard to get out of bed in the morning. My days felt really long and they were draining me, like going to school, going to the rink. It just became too much for me.
Mhm.
And then I got physically sick. So obviously that wasn't good. And then from there, I kind of never got out of that hole. Um, so I wouldn't go to school. It was like a month straight of me not going to school. And then after that, kind of, we were like, I need a little bit more help. So there was one night and I was in the shower and I got out of the shower and I was crying to my mom and I was like, I think I just need a little bit more help than just talking to someone. And from there, we went to an outpatient program. And then we were like, I need to tell my hockey team what's going on with me. So we set up that meeting with Coach Larry and we told him pretty much everything I was feeling, like everything I was feeling. And he was really supportive that night. He was great. He was like, if you ever need like to not be at the rink, just stay home. If you can't be on the ice, you could be my assistant coach. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that was a very compassionate initial reaction you got from him. And so you did receive a clinical diagnosis of anxiety and depression.
Yes.
Was it a bit of a relief to know that you had something, or what were your feelings about a diagnosis?
Um, yeah, it was a little bit of a relief just to know that my feelings, that what I was feeling was I actually had a reason to be feeling that way.
Hmm.
And from there, once I had a diagnosis, we could medicate me.
Right.
So,
So,
obviously.
okay. So talk more about after Coach Larry told you you could, take the time outs when you needed to and assist him, then what happened?
The next day, I went to program and I woke up and I was already having a horrible day. I was like, I don't want to go today. Um, and my mom was like, just make it through the day. Like, you get to go to hockey tomorrow. Throughout the rest of the day at program, it was a 9 to 3 program. So I just had a horrible day and I didn't even know about the whole hockey situation.
Mm.
And when I get in the car, my dad goes, you're not allowed to go back to Team Illinois. They've removed all communication, like you're not allowed to be at the games or anything. I was like, okay, like that's kind of weird. And then he starts crying
Mm.
in the car with me. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird too. Like, what's going on? And I get home and my mom kind of explains everything to me, how I can't be in contact with any of my teammates. I'm not allowed to be at the rink at all with my team there. And from there, like it all hit me. So that was definitely a rough day.
So what was the rationale for you not being able to play anymore? What did they tell you? What was their reason?
I was a danger to the team because of my mental illness.
Wow. That had to have felt absolutely terrible. So So what did you do then? Did you have any recourse? Did you have a choice of what you were able to do, or you just had to stop?
I just had to stop. And from there, my mom was on the phone with a bunch of people from A High, people from USA Hockey, trying to get into contact with someone who would tell us why this was happening to me. That took her about a week to finally get on the phone with someone.
Hmm.
And they told her from there that I was a danger to the team and that Coach Larry had 19 other girls to worry about, not just me.
I know there was a word that stood out too, that they said nobody was equipped to deal with the burden of somebody with suffering from mental illness or suffering with their mental health. Why did that word hit you?
Well, from the start of my mental illness, we were taught in program that you're not a burden. Everyone is meant to be here. No one's a burden. No one should be called a burden. It's not a word that should just be thrown around.
Hmm.
And actually, we weren't on that email. My parents were not on that email, so it went to every other parent on the team besides my own parents. So an email about me wasn't sent to my parents.
Ouch. Wow. Okay, so here's what happens next. They reimburse you for your time missed. You're not allowed to be part of the team. They reimburse you. It's a very specific number, $1,209.87. Your parents tell you, Morgan, you can do whatever you want with the money. What did you decide to do with that money?
So from the beginning, if we ever got any money back, I told my dad I just wanted it to go somewhere good, somewhere to help people educate themselves, just anywhere good. From that, my dad did a lot of research on like where this money should go, who it should go to. And from Robin Lehner's helmet, he found the hashtag same here and he searched it up. And immediately from there, we were like, yes, this is where we want to donate.
So you give the whole thing to Same Here. I know that caught the attention of the founder of the organization because it was such a specific number. So what happened when they contacted you?
They were like, we kind of told my story a little bit in like the description after donating.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, wow, I can't even believe this happened.
Okay, so that's not the end of the story when it comes to Team Illinois. So eventually you are allowed to rejoin the team. Do you know what happened there with the inner workings of the organization?
So we had like a list of what was like what I needed to come back to the rink. I had to have a parent with me at all times. So my mom or dad had to stay at the rink throughout my practice or games or tournaments. I could not talk about suicide or how I was feeling, my depression.
So it was basically, there were a whole bunch of rules and stipulations that somebody had to follow you around all the time, right? To make sure you weren't inflicting self-harm and talking about your condition. That didn't feel very good or hospitable to you, did it?
No. And something else we talked to Team Illinois was if I was going to be allowed back at the rink, they had to put a program in place to help educate coaches so this doesn't happen to another player. And to this day, nothing has been placed at Team Illinois for mental health.
Okay, so no more Team Illinois for you because that didn't feel good, but you are playing hockey. So, well, I don't know. Are you playing hockey right now? Is hockey happening in Chicago?
Yes, I play for St. Jude Knights. It's a AA program. I went down a level, but my goal for this year was just to find joy being back on the ice again.
And have you found it?
Yeah.
So finally, what's your hope? What do you hope that your story accomplishes?
To educate people out there that calling someone with severe mental health a burden is not going to help anyone in this situation. And to make sure people know that they're not alone and that there's always help out there that they can get.
Well, I know you're going to help so many more people. So Morgan, thank you so much for this. And thanks to your family too.